There's nothing wrong with being a man's man, a rugged he-man, a man of the outdoors, sweat on your brow and muscles bulging. Provided for one thing. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10 Minute toward day 4 of Toldot Generations. Let's go all the way over to Bereshit or Genesis chapter 27, beginning with verse 1. And it came to be when Yitzhak was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called Esau, his elder son, and said to him, My son. And he answered him, Here I am. And he said, See, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me. Make me a tasty dish such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die. Two men of the field talking together, planning the next steps, getting their agenda straightened out. We find that Yitzhak loves Esau because he loves the game that Esau brings home. And you would understand that Esau is his daddy's boy, just a way to put it. But the reality is both Esau and Yaakov are fathered by Yitzhak, and they both would share to some degree the traits and qualities of their father. It's just that Esau has more surface level indicators that he is Yitzhak's son than does Yaakov. This is not to say that Yaakov is a weakling, or that he is a pale-skinned, weak, and anemic man. Later on, we're going to read where it would take multiple people to lift a stone off of the mouth of a whale, and he just steps up and takes that stone off and flexes and shows his gun on his right arm and says, See, got this. So Yaakov was a man's man as well, just a different kind. So they are reflecting Yitzhak's qualities, but in different avenues. You see, Esau took daddy's quality of enjoying the outdoors and left it in the outdoors. When we read about Yitzhak previously, we find that he was out in the field praying when Rivka shows up. And later on, we see that while Abraham was a man of flocks and herds, Yitzhak is a man who's digging in the dirt. He has planted in a time of famine and still reaped an enormous harvest. And he takes shovel in hand and redigs the wells of his father. So Yitzhak is depicted as a man who wants to get his hands and his tools in the dirt. And as such, I can appreciate that. I mean, that's manly stuff. And it makes you want as a man to beat your chest and holler, "Oorah," you know. But that's not all that there is to Yitzhak. He is also a man of focus and prayer and doing what's right. And so this is where we see Yaakov coming in, who tends to be more spiritually alert and astute, not perfect, not refined, not altogether where he needs to be, but at least he's heading and trying to focus and get there and in that direction. And it's important that we understand that when we are in a journey or on the journey to get there, that's important too. You're not just the product of the arrived end result. You are also that product of yourself as you are trying to get there. The journey is important as well. A little side note there. So we learn here then is that Yitzhak is a dual quality individual, and this is very important to us. He is a man who enjoys the outdoors who enjoys the soil, who is focused on planting and reaping and digging until water shows up. He's a man that enjoys the taste of wild game and the hunting and the fishing and the rugged stuff. And there's a lot to be appreciated for that. In our modern world, the emasculation of the male population is not just a current fad and trend, it is a demonic agenda. Yah designed and called men to be men. And we need to stop apologizing and repenting for what Yah called us to be as being a man. Men need to step up to the plate. They need to set an example. If you're going to lead with a righteous example. If you're going to order your household, do it with compassion and with affection, but also set firm boundaries and enforce the boundaries. But may they be righteous boundaries and not just your own personal preferences. A lot of preaching there in about 2 or 3 sentences. It's important for us to understand that Yah has both a male and a female expression of himself, while he is neither. Everything that is masculine and male comes from Yah. Everything that is feminine and female comes from Yah. And so when he has placed the male and masculine expression of himself and his qualities in the male human being, it's important for them to be a male human being and not try to be a feminine human being. Do you catch my drift? That all being said now, what we understand is that Esau took daddy's rugged qualities and he accentuated them to the full without adopting any of daddy's spiritual qualities. Therefore, he became carnal-driven, flesh-driven, profane-minded Esau. Again, one more time, let us understand that quality, that expression of Esau lives and dwells potentially inside of us, whether you are a male or a female, because this is a spiritual quality and not just a male expression. That carnal drive that exists, it exists in all of us. It is important then for us to recognize when that thing is seeking to rise to the surface and reveal itself and express itself to obtain the inertia of our life choices and propel us into what it is that it wants to do. Now, what do we do to fix this? Well, let's ask ourselves a very important question. When Esau is sensed rising up, that is the carnal flesh, pushing and compelling us to walk in flesh-driven ideals, one of 2 things will take place. Either we will become excited with the prospect of what this Esau tendency is pushing, or it will press us to engage in prayer to defeat it. So when you feel your flesh rising, and you know however that might express itself, jealousy or rage or pity or whatever, however it expresses yourself, when it rises up and you sense it rising up, what are you going to do? Are you going to allow that thing to excite you or engage you in prayer? If you become excited by what Esau is promoting, it's going to take a strong determination to turn that excitement around and start praying. If your first response is to recognize it and have a horrified, imaginative result of where this is heading, you will immediately engage in prayer and throw that thing down. So it comes down to this. Does Esau excite you or engage you in prayer? Think about that. And I'll see you again tomorrow. To this, shalom.